Hey y'all, welcome to episode 231 of Consignment Chats, where today we are going to talk about eBay auctions. I know all of you are curious when, why, how do we use them all? What do we do with them? Do we constantly use them? Let's talk about it. But first, I want to hear from you, chickadoos, about your week before we get into the goodies about eBay auction, because I know there's a lot of people that talk about them and ask about them. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Consignment Chats. This is Molly, and I'll be joined by my co-hosts Libby and Samantha.
Yeah, my week was real good. It was just like I feel like I'm finally getting back on track. Like after the vacation, I know it's been a long time, but I feel like I'm finally like finding my groove, got my groove back, and things are happening, hitting my tactics, hitting my metrics, and yeah, it feels really good, but kind of dull. Like I got nothing exciting to report other than I'm doing the day in, day out, and putting the time in. That's it.
Now, Libby, we talk about this in our morning motivation. You need to find joy in what you do day in and day out.
Yeah, you're right. I do need to find some joy in it. I've been so focused on just getting back on track.
Right.
I lost my joy.
Don't lose your joy. Find your joy in what we do, because we are lucky to do what we do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We've designed our whole lives around this. Yeah.
Right? I mean, come on, man. Samantha, I don't know if we're ever going to get Samantha back. First of all, Libby, you can no longer go anywhere because it took you too long to get back. But I don't know that we're ever getting Samantha fully back.
Well, summer Samantha has started to come out. So that's the problem. Right. And it's only like 45 degrees here. So imagine what it's going to be like when it's in the 70s every day.
In the 70s, we're going to have West Coast Molly. I'm going to have to be running the show again. Oh, no, I love to be in charge. Who the hell am I kidding?
Right. You are always in charge.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, well, we had a holiday weekend. So we also had graduation here. We had a lot of stuff going on with that. This weekend, our older daughter, Tamara, came home from Wisconsin and brought her daughter. We celebrated her birthday. Like, there's just been a lot going on. And I'm glad that it's so cold out, because if it were nice, I'd be like, I'll see everybody in September. Let's do this.
Oh, man.
But I also need money and like to be able to pay my bills. So there's that.
Yeah,
I'll just keep reminding you of that.
Yeah, and our people will be mad if you don't show up. I mean, there'll be a rising if you're not showing up.
Yeah,
so. I don't know about that, but okay.
No, it'll happen.
It will. They want you. They need you to keep them accountable, my friend. They need you. So, yeah, my week. I had a good week. I'm still in it to win it. I did have a fun Friday sourcing, and then saved enough money to yard sale Saturday and estate sale. And I got to tell you, it was fun, but I didn't get any bangers. You know, I usually come in here excited about a banger that I found, or I didn't get any bangers, but I did get something that pulled at my heartstrings. And I have to tell you, at a yard sale Saturday, I went on my own. Mr. C Chats was not available.
On Saturday, he wasn't available?
He was not available. He was running in his run club.
He has this really weird habit where he like goes and runs for fun. And I don't, whatever. Yeah.
I don't understand. But he had a run with his running club.
Yard sales. Like, come on, Nick.
You know,
everybody has different cardio, okay? Thrifting is ours.
We know what our cardio is. So he went to run club, and then he did his blood donation after that, a little bit after that. So he was unavailable in the morning. So I got up, and there were 2 community yard sales. I went to the first one that started at 7 that was further away. And anyway, I was at one house, and I found this adorable little tic-tac-toe set that was handmade, hand-painted, that was the woman's that she played with when she was younger. And I'm going to show you. Isn't that cute?
So cute.
So that is a ceramic tile that's got little felt feet, and it is hand painted with Raggedy Ann and Andy. And then those are wooden discs that are hand painted. So you're either Ann or you're Andy. And then she had the creator sewed a cute little pouch bag that it all stays in Raggedy Ann and Andy fabric. So I listed that Saturday and put it up on eBay and thought, okay, well, we'll cross-list this. This is going to sell big in Etsy. I paid $2 for it. Couldn't wait to get it cross-listed over to Etsy, but Nick does the cross-listing and he was busy at the time. It sold, boom, right away on eBay for, I guess it was in a category that Libby had a sale running for 15% off. So it sold for $36.55. Boom, like that.
That's incredible.
Nice. Never even got it onto Individu. Never got to get it into Vindu and cross list. Never made it anywhere. Just sold like that.
Oh,
So,
just making money.
I love that when you were telling me about this earlier, you're like, okay, I must have, I probably underpriced it. Maybe it should have been cross list. Maybe it should have went to Etsy. It would have sold for more there. But then you're like, no, it doesn't matter because it was a quick flip. I paid $2. I sold it for $36. Boom, done.
Think of all the money you saved by not spending the time cross-listing it and doing all the things.
Boom,
that's amazing.
Right? Woo! Didn't even have to put it in the inventory. There you go.
Yeah. Awesome.
So that was fun because it was one of those things that I just fell in love with it. I thought it was so incredible and a one-of-a-kind thing. And, I was like, well, I don't know what it'll bring to the table, but I can't walk away and not take this home. And here's another story for you. The same sale had a whole lot on the table of Thomas train set stuff, like the wooden Thomas.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, oh, I could buy a lot, just get the whole lot. And I was like, how much are you selling your Thomas for? And they were like 50. And I'm like, okay, I don't know enough about Thomas. That might be a little high. Let me think about it. Let me walk around for a minute, let the crowd kind of dwindle. And then I'm going to come back and say, what's the best you'll do on it and see if I can get it a little lower. And just as I picked up the Raggedy Ann Andy thing, got the story from her, and then went and picked up a book I was looking at, I came back and there is a for sure reseller standing right there. And he's like, how much you got on your, and the next thing I know, he's comping things. He's doing this, that, and the other. And I just ended up walking away because I thought, well, I lost out on that one because I just wanted
I want to know if he bought it or not. Do you know if he bought it or not?
I am sure he did. He was there for quite a while, and I think he was wheeling and dealing. So
if you had wasted your time doing that wheeling and dealing, you wouldn't have had this quick sale.
Right. I got home and got it listed and got it up. But I was like, well, I lost out on that because I didn't jump right away. Right. And it was early morning. It wasn't like had been an hour or two. Right. This was the beginning of the sale. So some people aren't ready to deal quite yet.
Right.
So I was just kind of hesitant trying to listen. I kind of try to feel out where they're at with their stuff. And I lost out on that, but then I decided, well, then it just wasn't meant to be. And I walked around for a few minutes, realized he's definitely walking out with this. And I was like, well, I'm just going to head on and move forward. And Thomas wasn't meant to be.
Right. There you go.
But it was fun. I got some stuff. I didn't, like I say, no bangers. And I was really excited about a local one that was at a clubhouse, and it was like a community yard sale, but everybody comes to the clubhouse, right? So I'm like, oh, this will be awesome. This will almost be like a church rummage sale.
Like a rummage sale, yeah.
Yeah, I was so excited. So I got my Hulkin out and I'm walking with my Hulkin in there. Y'all, this clubhouse was the size of this room. Like it may have been the size of the two rooms side by side. But I had my Hulkin, and meanwhile, I'm trying to pick it up and hug it.
That's funny.
Woman did try to buy it. She goes, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I was excited. I was buying it. I'm like, oh, but there was nothing. I walked out with not one single thing. It was just not anything I expected it to be.
Can we just, do churches realize how much we love their rummage sales? No. We were driving around this weekend and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I can't wait until they do their rummage sale. And then we see another church and I'm like, oh, that Lutheran church has a great rummage sale. But it's so hard. They don't even advertise them well. It's almost like a last minute thing where you're like, oh shoot, that's tomorrow. They're going to do okay. Like, if churches just knew how much we loved rummage sales, I feel like they'd have one every other month. Like,
right?
They should.
Well, I did a search for them the other day, and what I find from our local is you have to follow the churches on Facebook. And I just don't want to go through and follow every church in Greensboro on Facebook, because they only put it on their Facebook pages or they put signs in their churchyard, but they don't put it on Craigslist. They don't put it on the yard sale apps. They don't advertise it in those places. And when I looked and did a Google, there were Facebook ads for one that happened in May, and I had no idea. I missed them.
Yes.
I had no idea they even happened.
There's this Catholic church a few blocks from us that does like this giant one. They have a gymnasium. It's huge. I've never been to it because I don't know about it until like the following Monday, and they already had it. Like only their congregation knows. So I've been trying. I have about 7,000 people now in my garage sale group, and I'm trying to like put it in the congregation here of like, when your church has, please post here, like tell your church that we want your yard sale, your rummage sales.
Such a great idea. Yeah.
So I've been trying to like do that in the other groups and like advertise for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish they did better. I was talking, I think that was when y'all were here with Johnny and Lizzie of Frizzy's Finds about, hey, we need to like team up and like, you drive this half of Greensboro churchyards and I'll drive this half, and let's figure out where they are.
Church patrol every weekend.
Right? Church sale patrol. We're on it.
So all these adventures can be found on our new Thrift Find Flip channel. You can just use the @ sign and search Thrift Find Flip to find it easily. Yes. We know you love these adventures when Molly talks about them. So go over there, subscribe. You don't want to miss out.
Don't miss out. Don't miss out. There's a lot of new ones coming. I'm moving some over still, but we've got new ones in the wings ready to come out. So lots of fun. Fun. Yeah. Getting some comments going over there, getting some views. We're just going to build this little sister channel up.
For sure.
Good fun.
So my garage selling, just real quick, my garage selling this weekend was super weird. So we always joke, like, and any reseller I've ever went thrifting with or garage selling with is always like, oh, we don't go where all the kids' clothes are. That's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for those kind of. Well, this weekend we had our granddaughter, and she wants to redo her room, and it was her birthday weekend and all that. So and she needs new clothes. They always need new clothes. She's growing like a weed. So we specifically we avoided all the barn sales and the out-of-town ones in the country, all the ones that I loved, and specifically went to the ones with all the kids stuff. So we found lots of awesome stuff for Tamara and Aspen, and her car was packed full of things.
Oh, really? Wow.
But I did not get much of anything. However, the very last one was across the street from our house, and just a tiny little, like, 2 tables out front. We knew the people, and she had some digital cameras sitting on the table and no prices on anything. And I was like, well, what do you want for these? And she's, $1 a piece. They all work. We just don't use them anymore. I pulled them out of the drawer, whatever. And I got a Nikon Coolpix, so one of the red ones, one of the earlier red ones. But I mean, they're always, if you see a Coolpix, any color, any model, grab it, because this is the cheap one, and I'm still going to list it for like $80.
Awesome, Samantha. Yeah.
And then I got a Canon, I don't remember what model, but that one had sold comps like every day. They're selling for like $120. So I paid $2.
Go ahead.
I paid $2, and those were like my only 2 finds of the weekend, but I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Don't you wonder, like, at what point does the desire for these cameras end?
No,
like, this
because
has been a thing for a while. Like, who's buying all these with the way the phones are, and like? So
my aunt is handicapped, and we buy them for her because she doesn't need a smartphone and access to all the world. So she has her little Cricket flip phone for phone calls, and then we get her the cameras, and she she takes all the pictures. So she's had a couple of the cool pics. They're very durable, last a long time. Love them. Well, then Maria had a cool pic. I think she had one of my aunt's old ones. She took it to France when she went on her France and Spain trip because that was easier than keeping her phone charged the entire time as they traveled, because they were hardly ever near a place where she could charge her phone or do the things. And then
that is a good point when you're traveling and you don't want to kill your phone. Yeah.
She just brought extra memory cards, rechargeable batteries. It had a whole little fanny pack full of camera stuff, and she took thousands of photos. And you don't want to have your phone. If the camera had been stolen, it wouldn't have been that big a deal. But there's a lot of the pickpocketing and all that stuff. She didn't want to have her phone like out ready to take photos because you got to keep stuff kind of concealed there. And so that camera actually recently broke. And I told May, I said, well, it's okay. Your trip was done. She goes, Mom, I use that camera all the time.
Oh, no.
So now we're searching eBay. She wants a different Nikon, whatever digital camera. This one, the camera flips up, but I mean, still old and still whatever.
Yeah, that's
but
so surprising.
The ones she want now sells for like $500-$600 used, and I'm like, girl, what are we doing? So
Mama's got to find it at a yard sale.
I know, right? I don't think this fad is going away. I think that she's like, no, I have to have my camera before I go to college, and that's like it's a thing right now. Like,
okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. You asked the question. Samantha answered it, Molly. There you go.
Good to know.
Boom.
All right, Samantha, I have one more question for you. One more.
Okay.
What's up with the hippo?
The hippo. The weekly report is the hippo did not sell yet. It has some views, and my local community thinks it's hilarious. They're wondering why this crazy woman is selling this hippopotamus for so much. My cousin came up from downstate, and she's like, did I see on Facebook that you are she's like, I'll give you $100 for it. I said, Jess, I love you, but not that much. Like, no.
I love my house hippo more.
Yes.
Where do you have the house hippo now?
Right now it's on the dresser in my bedroom because that was the sturdiest place for it upstairs where it's not going to get knocked over by a Great Dane. And we're going to redecorate downstairs and do some painting, and then it's going to be put on a shelf downstairs.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm sure that as soon as I make a home for it,
I was just getting ready to say that.
That's what it's going to sell. Hopefully on Etsy.
Special shelf, you know.
Yes.
100%.
We're going to put a lot of attention to it.
Specialty lighting, beaming down on house hippo.
We'll have a plaque made for it, the whole 9 yards. Yes.
I love it. Love it. All right. I'm ready to talk about auctions because I've had some experience with these lately. So I think we need to break this down and talk about how we all use them.
Yeah. So can we just for a second talk about the fact that a lot of people still think eBay is just auctions? Like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Mel, I can't believe you haven't got that question when you tell people what you do. Yes.
Whoops.
Yes.
Well, there's Maria's graduation picture again.
I'm trying to clean up and delete stuff over here. And sorry. Yes, a lot of, I literally just read something in a Facebook group like yesterday, and somebody was like, well, I only sell on Poshmark and this because I don't want to do auctions on eBay. And we were like, what? What?
Oh, so that was even a reseller. That wasn't somebody in the general public. That's wild.
It was an older reseller. They had sold on eBay like back when it started.
Back when it was all auction.
Yeah. So they probably still thought we had to use checks too. I don't know. Like it was
right. Wait for the check in the mail. Yeah.
So guess what, guys? Newsflash. eBay is not just auctions. Actually, it's primarily buy it now. So you have like two formats. You have your buy it now format and you have your auction format. And then within those, you have all sorts of different options. But how do you know when to use it?
Well, I think we probably all have our reasons for using it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just recently had one of my big reasons for using it was, which we've talked about on the episodes, the yearbook, the 1900 University of Alabama yearbook. There were no exact comps on that. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I was very uncertain of the value of the item.
Mm.
And so I didn't feel comfortable for that consignee putting a value myself on an item that I could not find comps for. So I decided the best way to get the best for my consignor is auction it and let the collectors determine the value.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a strategy I mostly use as well, with usually a little twist, but sometimes you can't use this twist. So what would you say about 99.9% of our listings are buy it now?
Yes.
We really don't fool with auctions except in specific situations.
Right.
So yeah. So the one twist I do on what Molly said is I will put it up, and this was Craigslist Hunter, like tip from years and years ago, is put it up at like a really, really high price, like way higher than you think it would ever sell. Get watchers,
as a buy it now. Put it up as a buy it now.
Thank you, Samantha. Yeah, put it up as a buy it now with a really high price, and collect the watchers, collect the interest. If you're not sure what it is, you'll get feedback. If it's priced too high, you'll get feedback. And then once you collect some watchers, send it to auction, and a lot of those buyers will be alerted. It'll go to auction, and I think that's a great strategy. I've definitely used that. But if you have no idea what the top price is, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
that's a tough one.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, there's that yearbook.
There it is.
Sold and shipped. Yeah.
So my favorite part about that was when you started that auction and ended during our live last week and our come list with us. Like we were like 15 minutes into the first 15 minutes of come list with us. We were like sharing the screen. We're watching that. We got to see those last couple bids come in at the end, and it jumped up like $100.
Right.
Like, that was
so
fun.
I mean, and auctions are fun, aren't they? Oh my goodness.
They're fun. They're
sure.
frustrating for the first 6 days or so, because you're just like, come on, why isn't anybody doing anything with it? But then usually the end is when it gets fun. Yes.
Yeah. That's what I was. So Nick was not accustomed to the auction life because he's just recently got more involved in my business. And so he was all in on this, but he was like, it started out with bids within the first day. We got a couple of bids, one bid, and somebody bid back, and another bid.
Which is fairly unusual.
Right. So it was like I don't know, 120 something or 30 something somewhere in there. And then it was crickets chirping, which is what I expected it to be until the end. But it was gaining a lot of watchers, and the watchers kept going. And he was very like, why is nobody bidding? Why? I said, honey, they don't bid. You won't get anything till the last day, within the last couple of hours. And then the big action will happen in the last 10 seconds. Like just all you need to care about right now is, are there watchers? How many views is the listing getting, and how many watchers are clicking on there?
I just want you guys to know, the viewers, because you two already know, that if you think this house hippo saga is annoying, you'll know when I have an auction, because every day I'll be like, no more bids yet, or it's had this many. You will get a daily update, because auctions, I need that instant gratification, and it's so hard to wait the full 7 days.
You have to be patient. You have to be patient. So.
Yeah, that's why my auction group on Facebook is 24 hours. Like I'm not waiting around for anything. It's got to be quick.
So all right, we do an auction. Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say, like, all right, we do an auction. What are the parameters? You have choices. You have what's called the reserve price, right? That's the bottom amount that you will take. So what did you put as a reserve on this one, Molly?
I didn't buy. I just started it at $99.
Started at $99.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started it out was what the reserve was. So
yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to start it at what the minimum I wanted to make on that was, and let it go from there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. You ever do reserve prices, Libby?
No, I don't use the reserve price. I put it out there for what it is, because I think it's super annoying for the buyers to trying to get the reserve. But
I think it's a big turnoff if you go and bid in and then it says reserve not met. I'm like, why are you letting me bid this then?
And you can always so if you're like bottom dollars, $500 on something, start it at $500. you can always re-auction it next week for $400. You can always go down if you're really stuck on that price. But starting something at $99 with a reserve of $500 is just, you're going to lose all those bidders. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it were me and I were a shopper and I walked into stuff like that, which I have, I just walk away. Once I do my bid, if it says reserve not bid, I'm like, I'm moving on and waiting to find another one. I don't find that appealing as a buyer at all.
Yeah. So we say we don't recommend like putting a reserve price on it. Start at the lowest price you'll take and see what happens.
Well, from there. Yeah. Go from there and see
now,
what happens.
One mistake I've made before we talk about the length of the auction is I didn't notice when they start putting best offer on the auction.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and I have by default that box checked.
Right.
And I really did not like that option of best offer because let's say you're starting it at $99. Somebody can send you an offer for $99. Somebody can send you an offer for $50. Somebody can send you an offer for anything. Like, and I don't really like that style just because you're auctioning it for a reason, right? Like if you're using the auction the right way, you're auctioning it for a reason. You don't want to entertain offers. I'm assuming unless there's like an exception to that, but so I made that mistake. So check that, make sure you don't have best offer on there unless for some reason that you want it. It does allow somebody to make an immediate purchase.
Yeah.
So,
and I had somebody message me asking, do you have a buy it now price for this on the yearbook? And I was like, no, this is auction only. To me, if I make that decision, it is what it is. Write it out for the length of the auction and then reassess at the end if it doesn't sell.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've put a buy it now price in for auctions. Like I know, maybe it wasn't that collectible. Like I knew if somebody really wanted it for, let's say $500 and,
right.
I kind of knew the value of it. So I've definitely done that, but proceed with caution if you're going to do that, if you don't know the value, because you could really be kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Yeah. What about the length of the auction?
So
how many days?
I always do a week. I always do the 7-day for me. And I try to, you make sure it goes through a weekend, but I always go back and forth and I debated on this yearbook too. Like when's the best time to start it? And I've done this before. I wait and then I don't start listing the auction until like Friday or like Thursday night at 8:00, so that I know that it ends on a Thursday night at 8:00 and people will be home at their computers. But I did this one Tuesday in the middle of the day or Wednesday in the middle of the day. And it was Wednesday because I listed it while we were in a come list with us on our Patreon.
Right.
And I was like, well, should I hold off on this in my mind? And I'm like, no, just list it. It's a collectible item. Collectors are going to watch it no matter what, and just put it up. And I did. And that paid off, but I know there's probably a lot to be said for starting them at times when most people are home and at their computers, and making sure you run it through a weekend so that people that work all week are, surfing the eBay listings on the weekends.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, something to consider, 7 and 10-day auctions, you're going to get more eyeballs on it. Right.
Yeah.
So, I say go with the longer time, especially if you have something collectible.
For sure.
And you have to pay for the shorter ones anyways, don't you? So so why waste your money? Put it out there longer for people, right? Put it out there longer for people to build. That's why they charge you for that, is because eBay does not want you to do those shorter ones.
Yeah. I think that if depending on
them on Sunday nights, I don't want to skip that over like that.
I was just going to say that exact thing.
Oh, okay.
I think that if it's something that's not a highly collectible item, like I knew this particular item wasn't really going to matter, but most items, I think the ending on Sundays is your best bet.
You got to think about the least likely time that people are at work, and nobody's working on a Sunday night. Like that's
except for us and our reseller.
We are.
We're the only fools out there working.
Right.
All the more reason to end your auction then, so we can watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I got so excited with this auction. It makes me want to just take other things I have and try them on auction just because it was fun. Like you forget how much fun they are, the excitement of them. But there's reasons to do them, which we've talked about. And sometimes the good reason to do it is for a quick sale. But I wouldn't do it on your common items. I wouldn't do it on like your clothing and things. I've done it when I've had an item that I've had in inventory forever and just want to get some excitement in the store. I'll throw things on a low ball offer because at this point it's been in the store for so long and I just want to clear the inventory out. But I'm fine with that. Rarely has that paid off for me in
I was going to say,
sales.
I would classify that. That was actually a mistake I was going to talk about, like mistakes we've made. Yeah. Is like trying to clearance stuff out.
Yeah. It didn't work.
It just doesn't work. Like, unless you have the right things that are, more collectible. If you have like, a White House black market blouse,
not happening.
You can put it up for 99 cents and you're probably not gonna get the sale.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you really got to stick with those collectible items, those high demand items, those, those kind of things. What is it that we just learned about? The little dolls? Maybe those would be good. The Luba,
I don't know.
Laboba. The Labobas.
Okay.
I think it's a Laboba. Maybe those would be good.
That doesn't sound right, but maybe. Yeah. So they are definitely fun. It doesn't really work well. Labubu. Yes, that's right. Labubu.
Put your Labubu on auction. I don't know. I don't know enough about Labubu, so don't listen to me on that. Do your research.
Do your research.
I know that a lot of times it's the limited edition items, it's the high demand items, and or the rare collectibles are the best things to put in an auction.
And like on your everyday items, right? Your bread and butter items, you're going to get way more visibility having it at a buy it now price. If you have to mark down the price or run a sale, your item's going to get way more visibility than it would if you put it on auction. However, auctions are a strategy to increase traffic to your store. So even if you have items that aren't that desirable on auction, you can use this as a strategy, like run once a week, run a couple of things through an auction. People like auctions. They find them exciting. Pick the best ones, but
sort your catalog by like the most likers and take some of those, that has so many likers, but it seems kind of stale. It's not doing anything. Run that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely can boost things up and create some excitement in your store and increase visibility, traffic, all those things. So, and what's the worst case scenario? You send it to auction, it doesn't sell, you list it again as a buy it now. It takes like 2 seconds.
I know people are so quick they relist, delist like crazy. Well, it's kind of the same thing. You're moving it over to auction. And then if that doesn't go anywhere, then delist it or relist it as a buy it now again. It's okay. It refreshes it either way.
Yes.
It's okay.
And eBay makes it easy. It's just a couple clicks of the button. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
So, other things that maybe aren't collectible, but like things that are in super high demand, like really high end things can also do very well in auction. One of our favorite things that we did was the Chanel handbags. Like that was like the most fun auction. That was years ago. That was fun. Molly's stressed.
She's got PTSD over that.
Oh, Lord. That was the most nervous, month of my life because I could not find an exact comp on this bag for anything. I mean, it had a particular trim on it that I could find no other Chanel bag with this trim, but I knew it was authentic, but I couldn't find, and I thought, this is coming back. This is going to be an issue. No, it was great. It was wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
But it had me erect. That was in our early years. I mean, that was what my first year of.
That was the first year. That was like one of our first first auctions. Yeah,
it must have been before Google Lens was a thing.
Yeah, so it absolutely was. I mean, it was 12 years ago. I was an
12 years ago.
Absolute mess when I did that. But thank goodness it was all good.
Yeah, so maybe start with something a little easier than an unidentifiable Chanel bag.
Yeah.
Get yourself a little acclimated to it because it can be stressful. It can be very stressful.
Lord, girl.
Yeah. And it's not meant to be. It should be fun. The whole point is that eBay is not all auctions. Tell your friends. And then you can sprinkle them in just to add a little boost in variety and show. We're always talking about, we ship things on the weekend to show eBay we're paying attention to our store. We answer our questions every day to make sure eBay knows. Well, sprinkle these in and eBay will know that you sell a little bit of everything. You do a little bit of everything. I don't know if that's really a thing or if they care, but I just like to think that that's why I'm doing it. Yeah. I'm a versatile eBay seller. So give me the sales. Come on.
Yeah. And I just want to tell people, just remember when you're doing your listing, make sure that you start your auction low enough to attract buyers, but you don't need to lose money on it. Unless if it's a new listing, just be sure that you're making that starting bid where you won't lose money on it. Because I know a lot of people might think, to get the bids going, I got to start it at 99 cents, but I paid 29 for it. You don't.
No,
that's not the way to do it. Start it so that you don't lose money. And like we said before, if it doesn't sell that way, then start it. If you get a lot of action, but it doesn't sell, start it a little lower, get the people bidding. Because we all know I'm the queen of it. If I get into something and I want it and I start bidding, then you forget that you want to stop at $49. The next thing you know, it's just about winning. I'm just going to win. And then the next thing you know, you spent $109 on something that you were only going to spend $49 on.
The next thing you know, they accidentally type $742 for the bid, and then you get a T-shirt for $400.
That was the best Christmas gift Doug ever got from us, a $490-something Grateful Dead T-shirt.
That boss auction rocked. It was great.
Oops.
Yes.
Oops. Oh, me, oh my. All right.
So I'm going to mention just one more thing because Molly wants to end. So I got to interrupt. It's like tradition. But all right. So one of our community members, Jason the Santee Swapper, uses auctions quite vigorously. I'm going to say vigorously in his business model. Strategically, thank you. Strategically in his business very, very consistently. So there are ways that you can have a business model that incorporates like a lot of auctions and make that successful and make that work. So we're talking about like specific, like everything resellers kind of here, but there are other options as well.
Yeah, he's niched down, and he's definitely found a way.
These are collectibles. He sells collectibles and one-of-a-kind kind of rare things. So
yeah,
absolutely, that works for him. So
all
right, let us know your auction stories in the comments. We want to hear. We want to hear about what auctions you have tried in the past. Have you ever used them? Are you trying to decide whether or not to use them? Did we help you at all? Do you feel confident in this? Ooh. Did we teach you something new? I don't know. Let us know. Give us some feedback. We love to hear from you.
Tell us in the comments.
Make sure that you have run over and subscribed to our Thrift Find Flip channel, our sister channel, because we want you over there too. And feel free to run that playlist and watch those videos. I'm going to shout it out right here. I'm not too embarrassed to say we need our watch hours over there. So go over there and watch those videos for us. Just turn the volume down and let them run all day while you work if you don't want, but give us some feedback, help us build that channel up so we can get to where we are here, because we enjoy doing that part of it. We love what we do here. We love what we do in our original consignment chats, but we also love the fun sourcing videos. So Got it. All right, girls, until next time.
Cheers.
I flipped that.
Samantha's face. Thank you for joining Libby, Molly, and Samantha, the ladies of Consignment Chats, as we grow your reselling business. For all things Consignment Chats, visit us at consignmentchats.com and join our free private communities on Facebook and/or Patreon.